The events of one night 18 years ago will haunt Betty Lawil forever. The Joseph Kony-led Lord's Resistance Army rebels raided her home, abducting her 13-year-old daughter. 2 weeks later, Betty was also taken into captivity. She was forced to walk long distances carrying food rations for the rebel fighters. But she was also assigned a husband.
Unfortunately for me, I was given a man who had syphilis, and I stayed with it for 6 months before I got cured. I tried to resist, but he beat me up so badly and I almost died.
Northern Uganda was the epicenter of a conflict which claimed thousands of lives. Lawil is among many who are lucky to be alive. Because of her physical disability, she was let go after a year in captivity. But her ordeal was far from over.
When I returned from captivity, my husband's relatives told him not to accept me and that I had a mental disorder that would force me to kill people at home. My husband then threw me out, claiming that he had lost trust in me and that I had HIV.
Many women that return to their communities have continued to face sexual violence and discrimination, and many say there has been too little help. Very few perpetrators of sexual violence in conflicts are ever brought to justice due to breakdown in law and other systems during war. And in many societies, culture and traditional beliefs surrounding sexual violence cause further harm to survivors and can isolate them from much-needed support. Due to social exclusion and stigma, over time, victims suffer severe trauma and depression if they are not helped.
We had a lot of suicidal tendencies, both the men and the women. And out of these 6, all those that came with their children, the children kind of got an isolation, a depression, and this kind of resulted into epilepsy. So you'd find that most of these mothers that came back with their children have some degree of epilepsy.
According to Dr. Aloyo, some organizations have been providing treatment and rehabilitation services for victims of sexual violence. However, she says this is not enough to ensure full recovery of the sufferers.
Along the way, as we were providing these services, we did realize that there was a gap that we are missing. That is the socio-economic aspect. Because we had rehabilitated them physically, socially, mentally. However, they were still not healing.
Betty Lawil is now among the few who have been rehabilitated and empowered. With her small business, she can only hope for a better and peaceful world free of violence. Michael Baleke, CCTV, Gulu, in northern Uganda.